We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
I wonder if I could hit that. It's not. It's there for me too.
I have no idea.
I wonder if I could just start recording the session without the
we've never tried it.
Without the being at the mercy of the overlord that is Matt.
Am I?
Maybe you're an underlord.
I don't know why. That just sounds mean.
Well,
you're a real underlord.
You're such an underlord. You, I consider you below the other lords. Now, does that make you below the common man? Probably not. Still,
no. Because there's such thing as like an underboss.
Is there?
I think so.
Well, there's the show Undercover Boss. Is that what you're referring to?
No. I think an underboss might be a mafia thing.
Oh, I could see that. That tracks.
Maybe one of our listeners will tell me if I'm right or not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe those listeners will chime in.
In the mafia, there's a thing called an underboss, but I'm not for certain.
Is there an underbus?
Right. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus is right.
No, I bumped my thing and it maybe made a noise. I'm not sure.
I heard a noise.
Did you?
I did.
Well, awesome. Yeah. Underboss is a thing in the mafia.
Wait a minute. Right. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I know. I'm not supposed to look stuff up, but I was curious and I wanted to know now.
You would think we would have our act together by episode 99, but we clearly do not, Matt.
No. You know what? Yes, it was mentioned to us that we look stuff up too much. But you know what? Mikey can go fuck himself.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was mentioned to us by someone who doesn't always demonstrate that he knows many things.
Wow, that was way more rude than me just telling him to go fuck himself.
Was it?
I don't know. You're saying, you're undermining his intelligence.
Well, what I said might be rude. What you said was downright mean.
Yeah, but he knows. He's not.
Does he know? I think he doesn't know.
He knows that he can go fuck himself.
My argument is that he doesn't know a lot of things. So I would say that he doesn't know what you're claiming him to know.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's just rude.
I know. Did I cross the line?
Well, potentially.
How do we find out? How do we find out?
I guess if Mikey lets us know after hearing this if I
was rude or not.
If you were rude.
He can also let us know if you were mean. If you felt what you said was mean and hurtful.
I'm pretty sure he's going to tell both of us that we were rude and mean.
Like we're both rude and mean?
Well, no, I was mean and you were rude.
Gotcha. What if he reverses it? What if he says that I was mean and you were rude? What do we do then?
Then I think we're in the clear.
God?
Yeah.
Wow. I am tired. That was meant to be either good or gotcha, and I just made it the worst possible combination of those two things.
Well, yeah, maybe it would have made more sense if you would have said God, yeah.
Well, I mean, but what? Why would that ever make sense?
Well, because you're combining the two words.
Yeah, well, I think I was trying to land on good, but I had,
started with God.
The pronunciation of the O was the A-O. It was the A-O.
Gotcha. Nailed it. So this is the
welcome to High School Famous.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Carry on.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
No intro today?
Dude, I just got home.
I don't know.
How long have you been home?
You tend to have stuff prepared, so
how long have you been sitting at home right now?
30 seconds.
That's not true.
We've been on this for 5, so.
You said you were going to be doing some kind of test beforehand, so you've been home.
I tested my audio, so this should be much better than, 96 and 97? Where some bad audio on those on my end, because there was something goofy that happened. And so if the audio's bad on this one again, I tested it ahead of time, so I don't know what the hell then.
And unfortunately, we recorded those 2 episodes back to back, so the issue just carried through to the next. To each
unfortunately, and it wasn't noticeable until it was done. Because you said
as
far as you heard, everything sounded fine.
Yeah, I didn't notice any dip in your audio at all while we were doing it.
And even when because I always test it just inside the program. I don't do a test recording, but I always test my audio and in and out before we start, and it was fine. But on the recording, for whatever reason, it got real muffled for some reason.
Okay.
But this I actually test recorded, came back clear, so we should be good to go.
Great, but
enough of that.
No, we're still on that. We're not diverging off of the reason it was brought up in the first place. I like how you try to dive into all this detail about the issue to distract away from the original question which was, how long have you been sitting at home and possibly had the time to come up with an intro? Whereas I got home, took the dog out, came upstairs, and sat down to record. That's how much time I had.
Yeah, no, I've been home long enough to do something, and I was trying to come up with an intro, or I thought about it for probably a good 2 minutes. I thought about maybe writing something, but then I just assumed you probably had something on the back burner already because you always seem to have a bunch of stuff written.
No,
there you go.
I had written that block of a few of them, and then we went through them all.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, I've got 3 started. You want to hear the start?
Well, then you can't use them later.
I sure can. Hello and welcome to High School Famous, the podcast, blank. So yeah, I've got 3 of those ready to go. They just need,
why would you have 3 of those just texted up ready to go?
I was like writing, it was when I was writing those other ones, I thought, I'll just copy paste this a few more times. So if I come up with more ideas, I could just add them to the end and not have to, type the beginning.
What a pain in the ass to have to retype that.
Well, if you can avoid it, why not? Work smarter, not harder, Matt.
Yeah. You nailed it. You saved yourself seconds of time.
It sure proved worth it this episode, didn't it?
No.
Oh.
So, what's up? What you been up to since I was there last week? Up to anything cool since I last actually saw you in person?
Let's see. You saw me on what? It was Friday of that week?
Yeah, last Friday. So it hasn't even been a full week yet.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Leo and I went to... So on Sunday... Leo and I went to the big mall. And there's a Rock of Ages blacklight mini golf course there that we played. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we went to that. It was kind of a letdown. It was mostly just flat surfaces, a couple weird little blocks of wood in the shape of like a record or some poster, just like laying on the ground, so it was risen up. So it's an obstacle for your ball to bounce off of or you have to try to golf around it. But other than that, you had a couple occasions where you could try to hit like up a little bit of a bridge shape of a surface that went inside something, so you see it come out the other side. Other than that, the only cool one was, I don't remember which hole it was. It might have been hole, 13 or 14 or something like that. But you hit the ball up this little ramp, and it just sort of falls into this thing. It kind of brings it up on this little belt, and then it drops it down into like this Plinko style type of a thing. And so that's going to make it knock out of one of 3 possible holes. And so obviously if you want the one that's closest to the cup, for it to roll out and get close to the cup. But yeah, other than that, all the holes were just really boring. And they had, rock and roll playing the whole time because it's Rock of Ages mini golf. So I don't know if I would return to play there again. I don't think I would.
No, it sounds like it was not worth. Did you give it a Yelp review?
No, I don't really do that. Do you give Yelp reviews?
I have on occasion.
I really could honestly say that I don't think I've ever given a Yelp review.
I've probably given more Google reviews than Yelp reviews.
What's a Google review?
Just same thing, but just on Google.
Oh, I've never done that either. I know I think I reviewed, I don't even know if I've done a review on Amazon.
I maybe have done an Amazon review as well.
Huh. Yeah, so then as we discussed, last Monday was my birthday.
It was. Did you get any? I was gonna say I should see all the notifications as well on any of our socials. If any of our listeners had wished you a HB day.
No, I mean unless you count friends of ours that may listen. They just messaged me outside of, any type of podcast channel.
Right.
Or social platform.
I'm disappointed in our listeners.
Yeah, me too. I got,
That's just in general, not even just about your birthday.
But just, yeah.
I'm just
as a whole,
constantly
you're
disappointed in our listeners.
Well, maybe they're disappointed in us. Maybe
That's
they're like
possible.
They don't deserve what they're asking for.
If they don't let us know that they're disappointed in us,
we have no reason to change.
I'm letting them know right here, right now.
Sure. The ball is in their court now to change their ways.
If you want to let us know that you're disappointed in us, you got to let us know. Otherwise, we're just going to keep giving you the same old shit week in and week out.
We're going to assume you get multiple orgasms every listen.
I think it depends on where they put the speaker.
It's an in-ear earbud, so whatever you can do with that.
Well,
you could do stuff
last
with that.
time I checked, and I check very often, ear's not where the erogenous zones are.
True, but that doesn't mean you have to place it there. Is all.
Well, that's why
I'm
I said
saying.
Well, that's why I said that depends on where you put the speaker.
Yeah, but I was.
And then you said it's an inner ear speaker.
I was describing what kind of speaker it was, not where it was. Just.
Well, okay, that was very confusing.
There's a Bluetooth pill speaker. There's over-the-ear headphones. There's on-ear headphones.
Yeah, but you can sit on any kind of speaker.
That's true, but if it's small enough, it could fit into places that others can't.
And that's why I sounded so muffled those 2 weeks.
That's true. Matt was full of speakers those episodes. So, Matt, I came across something it just poses a lot of questions.
I love questions.
So I'm on this app that's called Bumble, if you're familiar.
Ooh,
if you're not
I'm familiar with Bumble.
So
I'm aware of its existence.
There's one little question you can answer, which it says a non-negotiable. What that typically means is I would not consider going on a date with you if this
if you're
is the
a
case.
Smoker or
if you voted for Trump, that one comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. This one, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
I'm not going to reveal any information about the person. This was on someone's
profile.
Yeah, and it caught me off guard, and I had to take a screenshot of it.
Okay.
So, a non-negotiable. It says, unless it's an emergency, please don't ever text me while I'm at a funeral. Past experience does unfortunately prompt this answer.
That is a weird thing to put on a profile.
It's very weird. And I don't remember.
Because I don't have your phone number right now.
Exactly.
And I won't get your phone number unless we match and you give me your phone number. And then at that point, you know what? There's never a time to bring that up until you're going to a funeral and you say, hey, here's something that's triggering. I'm going to be at this funeral for the next, 5-6 hours. Please don't text me while I'm there. I will text you when I'm out.
Right.
That is very odd.
It is. I don't understand. I mean, the only way this would possibly be a regular problem for this person is either they know a lot of people that just die, or they work at a funeral home and they're working funerals. But
then it's like, just, you know what? If it's such an issue that people are continuously texting you while you're at funerals or working funerals or whatever the case may be,
right?
Either shut your phone off, or put it on
silent or vibrate or whatever.
Yeah, do not disturb or whatever you can set. Put it in fucking airplane mode, for crying out loud.
There are plenty of solutions to this that don't involve you just sort of warning someone out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And unless
I want to know now I'm just curious as to what happened. What happened that needed to be
I know. They could be I don't remember what the rest of their profile looked like, if they seem like a really quirky person that's just might be making something weird up to say. But they could be doing that. They could just be trying to make up something weird so they could
that's not even funny. Like,
it's right.
If it was goofy, I'd be like, okay, but it's just weird.
It sounds like I'm bitter about this.
Yeah, there's no punchline at all. It's just, I'm kind of at a loss for words on that one.
I don't know what to make of it.
It's super weird.
I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I only screenshotted the section of it. So I couldn't even try to accidentally reveal who this was, so don't worry about that.
You didn't. Did you swipe left or right on that?
I believe I swiped left, which is a rejection.
You're like, I only text during funerals.
Right.
Excuse me? Don't text me unless I'm at a funeral. It's more like it.
You want to make that move when they're vulnerable and sad.
Yeah, I wonder if that was it. Like, I hear you're having a hard time.
But who knows?
I want to give you a hard time, if you know what I mean.
I don't know about that, Matt. I don't think that would work.
You don't think it would work?
No. Especially if it's through text.
Try it.
Maybe if you're there in person and you say it, the two of you can sneak off to the back room or whatever, wherever. I don't know how funeral homes work or whatever, but maybe there's a little
Haven't been to
area
many funeral homes?
I mean, it's been a while. It's been...
I mean, that's good.
10 years since I've been to a funeral?
Hey, you got a good batting average there.
Yeah. And before that, it might have...
Nobody ever died.
Nobody ever died before that. Maybe I went to one after that. I'm trying to remember when I went to my uncle's in Maine. I'll have to research it. I forget when that was. But either way, let's say between 10 and 8 years ago.
Wow. It's been that long since your uncle passed, huh? Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because it was before you got married that he had passed. I remember that.
What uncle are you talking about?
Oh, the uncle I knew.
Joe?
Yeah.
Not him.
Oh, this is a different uncle?
A different uncle, yeah.
Okay. Had a lot of uncles die. At least 2.
One of my... Let me think. Ba, da, ja, ba. At least 4.
Those are some strange names.
Yeah. Ba, da, ja, and sa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sa was the youngest one. That was the saddest. He was gone too soon. The others, quite elderly. Older than my grandparents.
When they died or in general, like they were born before their parents were born?
I didn't say on the same side, did I, Matt? Uncles on one side could be older than grandparents on the other side.
Well, yeah.
But you know what?
But it's unlikely.
But you know what? It doesn't matter because none of that's true.
Oh, you fooled me.
Yeah, I gotcha. God. Episode 99. Yeah. Sound effect.
It's the end of season 2. We're going to be moving on to end of season 1. We're moving on to season 2.
This is I had come across an old conversation we had about...
You've been coming across a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's better than a head-on collision, I feel.
Yeah. You'd rather come across than come on?
Yeah, well, across is still on. It's just it covers more area.
It's more of a glance. It's a glancing blow.
So, yeah, and a conversation we had about centuries. And, the first century was only year 1 through 99, not technically 100 years. So, in episode-wise, we are closing out the first century.
The first century of episodes.
So, next episode will be the start of the second century of episodes.
Hey, I like it.
So, I'm going to study extensively the expansion and development of all of human history during the 2nd century AD, and I'm going to incorporate that into a lot of the episodes for the next 100 episodes.
I challenge you to do that. I hope you will.
I'm sure there'll be lots of strange terminology and verbiage used to match that of the time.
I want you to do that, but I don't want you to tell me you're doing it.
I already told you
I want
I'm
it to
doing
be,
it.
well, I mean, like, as you're doing it.
I wasn't going to do that.
I want it to just be like you just sprinkling things in. It's kind of like little Easter eggs that you're just sprinkling in that I don't even know are happening. And then at the end of that century, you could literally take bits and you could take a little bit of each episode and put it all together, and it'll be one long, basically tell a story.
So you want me to assemble like a series of clips of like the whole 100? Like I see what you're doing there.
This would specifically be yes, and specifically it would be just little clips of you saying specific things that tell us, like when you pull each of those little clips and put them all together, it's like one flowing story.
Well,
that'd be amazing. Actually,
that would require me to not only
do a lot of work,
not only do a very extensive study of human life in that time, but also to construct a story, a cohesive story using using terminology and lifestyles and tools, and basically anything that was existing in that time. Create some sort of story with it, and then sparse that out into basically 100 pieces, and plop one piece into every episode. I mean,
so
it is possible.
Scratch even worrying about it being a specific like story of you like studying, the second century of time and all that, whatever. I think it would just be amazing to just write a little story and then break it up into 100 pieces and then put it all together. But I mean, then it could just be anything. Then you could just literally go through each episode and just pull sentences out that kind of flow together, and you could just create a story out of nothing. You wouldn't even have to actually have pre-written a story. But what would be awesome is do that. So you pre-write a little story that you're going to break up into 100 pieces, and you're going to say it's going to be say it's 100 sentences. Each episode you put in one sentence just somewhere where it might flow and fit perfectly. But you have your pre-written story ahead of time, save it somewhere so it's dated, so I know you wrote it ahead of time, and then at the end of the next 100 episodes, we compile it all together, and then you have the audio that all flows from all the episodes, and then you have the story that was saved 100 episodes prior to that.
Sure.
So that it's proof that it was actually a real thing. This isn't going to happen, but...
Well, I was going to say, if I was going to do this, and I knew I was actually going to do this, I would make sure to pull each piece as the episodes happen. Versus...
trust me, I've thought about that for episode 200 already. I'm like, pull them as you do them.
Yes.
So that we're not spending a month going through 100 or 99 episodes of material.
Right. That has been a bit of an undertaking for us. But rest assured, even though we know that the next episode is going to be a sort of a compilation episode, highlighting some of our favorite and best moments of the run so far.
Yeah, maybe more favorites than bests.
I'm still going
who are we to judge what the best moments of each episode has been?
Exactly. Art is subjective, so...
Yeah. It's some of the moments of each episode that we've enjoyed.
So anyone can have moments that they enjoy more or less than the ones we've selected, and that's for you to enjoy. If you want to assemble a list of your own, that's all awesome for you to do.
Yeah, and if there's anything that you really liked that we didn't end up putting in it, I mean, go back and re-listen to the episode.
Which one?
If there's if we've left out anything that somebody enjoys,
like you have some part in mind where you're like, oh, I remember that part from this episode, which I thought was awesome. Yeah, go back and re-listen to that episode.
Listen to the entire episode again.
Because guess what? All it costs is time, which is precious and fleeting.
And who doesn't want to spend their time listening to the two of us talk about nonsense? Well, yeah, you don't because you're sick of doing it.
I'm currently raising my hand.
Yeah, you don't want to do it because you're tired of already doing it so much.
Yeah, I am.
That's the beauty of listening to everything at like 1.5 speed.
That is true.
You can burn through the episodes real nice and quick.
Now, I will
do us a favor. Even if you don't want to listen to it, just play it on a device on mute somewhere for us. That'd be great.
Over and over again.
Just on a loop, that would be a big help to us. Also, like and subscribe and comment.
Yeah, if you're not worried at all about the space on your device, just download every single one.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. On each one of your devices.
All of them.
Yeah.
On your laptop, on your
make several
tablet.
iTunes accounts. Is iTunes still a thing? I have no idea.
I think you have
just iCloud now or something, or
I think it's linked to just your Apple ID. But if you have a PC and you were on iTunes, I think you would still do that.
It's been so long, I have no idher. I don't have music on any of my devices anymore.
But aside from, yes, there has been a bit of a grueling aspect to this process of going back and pulling clips, but it has also been fun. It's been fun to rehear some of these things. And for each of us, it's only been half of it. Like,
right.
Each of us only went through half of the episodes so that we could sort of spread it out between the two of us. So there's a whole other half of stuff that I have not been able to recall, and I'll be able to hear on episode 100.
Episode 100. It's looking to be quite the epic adventure. Once everything is actually compiled and put together, it's going to be quite a doozy of an episode, I think.
But not so doozy that, it's unlistenable. I mean, you can easily listen to it.
Yeah.
It'll be like...
It's easily digestible.
It'll be like, man, that's over already? That does not feel like 3 hours.
Is it lunchtime? Wow.
I started listening to this before I went to bed last night.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be about 3 hours.
Are you serious? I was trying to make...
I'm thinking it might end up being about that long. It's hard to tell at this point because I don't have all of your audio yet. But it's I think it's gonna be probably close to that.
But don't worry, there will be some special things.
You still have
content.
You're still keeping something secret from me.
I am, but what I'm going to say is it's not going to be 100% clips. It's going to be a lot of that, but there'll be some other things in there, the beginning and the end, maybe that. We're going to record some kind of thing at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some new stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just like a theme song clips. That's not what it's going to be.
Yeah. So, for the sanity of our listeners, we'll probably want to keep that to a minimum.
The extra stuff.
The extra stuff. We'll see. Well, I mean, I've listened to plenty of podcasts that have been 3 or 4 hours long, depending. Especially. Some of them that are like special, like 100 episode, 200 episode, they tend to do some more extravagant things and you have a really long episode, but sometimes those are the most entertaining episodes. They're just like, I remember like Tell 'em Steve Dave episodes? 100 and 200 were big extravagant, like game show things they did that were
and
awesome.
How many of those were clip episodes that you thought were great?
Yeah, none. But,
Matt, do we have anything else to talk about besides episode 99?
I know,
just being like, hey, episode 100's coming, and we're going to talk about
episode 99 is us just talking about how great the next episode's going to be, and this episode's going to suck because of it. Warning,
episode 100 is next. Warning. Yeah, that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a little bit about other stuff. It hasn't been all about 100. Just like episode 100 isn't going to be all clips, like this episode isn't going to be all us talking about the next episode.
Right.
Not. I don't think it is. I'm trying for it not to be. It's not going
to be because right now, what we're going to do, Sean, I just have to figure out. I need to vamp for just a second.
Vamp.
Because
vampires. Do you think vampires can vamp well? Do you think that's like in their name? Think that's where the word vamp came from?
Maybe.
Like vamp is like, last forever out there on stage. View vampire.
As long as there's no sunlight.
Well, typically you do that at night. It's nightclub stuff. You don't do stand up in the daytime unless it's a corporate gig, and I've heard those are awful, but they pay well.
Unless you're doing like an outdoor gig, though.
Do you? That's true.
And it just goes into the morning.
You're one of the earlier acts. You're not as a well-established comic as some, and so you're earlier on before the sun sets. Yeah. Here's a question I have.
Okay.
And I'm not going to look it up because I'm holding true to what we said we would do.
Well,
what's the difference? Is there a difference between comics and comedians? Are they interchangeable? Why are there two separate names?
I believe it's just the same thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Is it that? I suppose comedian. If you're a comedic actor, could you call yourself a comedian, or are you just an actor? Because if
that to me would be very different. Because it's one thing, I think, to be funny on your own versus funny because you just know how to deliver somebody else's material.
Yeah. So the reason I brought that up, I was just thinking, well, maybe if you're a comedic actor, you could call yourself a comedian. But comics, the term comic is reserved just for those that perform stand-up comedy. But that might not be the case, because I guess if you're a comedic actor, you would just be an actor.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I could see that. A comic would be more of somebody who is like a stand-up comic. or, a person who actually writes jokes for a living.
Maybe if you're a comedy writer, you could be a comedian, but not a comic.
A lot of comedy writers are comedians as well. That's
true. I guess I don't know if the term comic is limited to just those that perform stand-up, and comedian is more of it could be used to describe other types of jobs in comedy. I don't know.
Yeah, or just, some goofy kid. He's a real comedian over here.
Everybody's a comedian.
Yeah.
But then there's comic strips, which are not related at all to what I'm inquiring about here.
Stand-up at a strip club.
It is.
That's topless stand-up.
Which, you would think awesome that you might be, you would think the jokes wouldn't have to be as good considering the other part of the entertainment, but no, if they're bad jokes, it makes it even worse. I
think it also depends on, the sex appeal of the comedian.
True. Yeah, because you know what? Not to make a comment about those that go into comedy. A lot of times they're not exactly models.
No.
So for someone they're comedians, exactly.
Different profession.
Yeah. I don't want to see Patton Oswalt on stage in a thong.
Yeah. Doing a pole routine while doing something telling dick jokes.
Yeah.
Sean?
Yes, Matt.
Would you like to hear some scary mommy scary facts?
Oh, yeah.
Be prepared to be scared.
Hold on. I'm sitting down.
Yep.
I believe I've cleared my system of any solid remains.
Remains?
Solid byproduct?
Speaking of remains, Sean.
Uh-oh.
Did you know that the catacombs of Paris hold the bones and remains of nearly 6 million people?
Organ. I did not know it was that many. Oh.
It's not on.
It's not plugged in.
No.
I could send you an organ sound. I should have had my phone plugged into I'm squeezing
a human organ.
Yeah, I'm squeezing a spleen in front of the microphone to get a scary effect. Squeezer. Yeah.
Real spleen squeezer over here. Look at this guy.
I did. That was, I was acquitted of that. They found me not guilty. So you, by law, cannot call me a spleen squeezer. I will have you arrested. And you will be convicted and go to prison for calling me.
I'm going to go to prison?
You're going to go to prison for calling me a spleen squeezer. You're going to go to prison and get rouped.
All right. Well, that was. Did that one scare you?
No.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. We already know that the catacombs is filled with bones.
We know that it's nearly 6 million people's worth of bones?
No, but does that make it, does the amount matter?
I mean, if it was one set of bones.
Of course. If it's
it
something
would be like, it's some bones.
If it's something like 10 people and you're like, well, they were a family and they wanted to be left here. But we're talking.
They got lost in the catacombs.
What were they before they got there and got lost? What were they called?
Alive?
The catacombs? No, not them.
Oh.
What were the
Oh.
What were they before they died? I want to know.
What were these bones? What were these human bones before they died?
How would you describe their liveliness before they died?
How'd they get their bones out of their body?
No, what I meant was,
what were the catacombs prior to them being filled with bodies?
Is the name catacombs?
I believe the catacombs were specifically built as like a burial site.
So why would that be something scary? That's like saying this cemetery has the remains of.
I mean, either the catacombs of Paris are to hold 6 million people, they're either vast, or there's large piles of people.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're like neatly arranged down there. I think it's.
I think a lot of them probably are neatly arranged.
Really? I've never seen them. I've always just imagined it's just like piles and piles.
It's like I believe they're similar to like a prestigious school. There's a lot of walls. It's not like it's not like one of those dome schools where it's just a big open room with bodies piled up.
Would you please get off of this thing, Matt?
That's what she said.
She calls it this. What is she calling this thing?
I don't know why she asked me to get off of it. She's like, it should be in me.
She what?
Get off of it.
Oh, it's like her toy that
Yeah.
she insists on using when you're with
and
her.
I was using it.
Oh, give it back.
It's my turn.
I have to disinfect it every time.
You went last time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess you're saying there are several walls where it's more of like a display, right?
Sure.
Don't stop it. You're Googling right now. I can see it.
I'm not Googling anything.
Get off of this thing.
Don't
Matt.
look at my glasses.
Matt, get off of this thing.
I'm off.
It's my turn to use it.
Oh, the walls are made of bones. Interesting. All right, you might have to look it up later. Literally a wall of skulls.
You know what? That's probably a superior building material to what is used today. What do you think?
I would say no.
No? You think wood is stronger than bones?
I mean, well, essentially, I would say yeah, because I think bones over time are just going to become more and more brittle.
And wood doesn't?
Not if wood gets the wood isn't exposed to the outside elements.
Neither would the bones. They wouldn't be exposed either.
So you're just going to have the bones are going to be internal structured walls?
What do you think?
I thought you were building it the outside of the house. I thought you were building the entire house of bones.
No, you idiot. I'm replacing the studs with bones, with femurs and tibias and whatnot.
I don't think over time, I think those would become brittle faster than the wood would.
The wood would.
But if you built the entire house with skulls and body bones. Yeah, damn it.
If
you built the entire house with
yes,
the bones of a human, I don't think you would not need any sort of security system. Nobody would ever rob that house. But you would also probably deal with a lot of hauntings.
Well, do you think ghosts follow their bones around and they haunt wherever their bones are? Because
I think sometimes where the remains are, but not always.
You hear a lot about hauntings in houses, like where the person used to live, unless they're buried in the house.
Could be buried on the property.
No, their remains are in a cemetery somewhere.
What if some people used to get buried on their property back in the ancient
Victorian
times.
era when all these ghosts are from? Well, if that is the case, throw that aside.
Like, wouldn't you be creeped out walking through the catacombs? Like, wouldn't you feel like there's like a presence in the catacombs?
I would say there's about 6 million presences.
So those people are with their bones.
You got it.
Saying. So what I was saying was right.
I 100% agree with you.
Are you just saying that to move on?
No. What I was going to say though, if your house is made entirely of bones, I would say no matter what, body bones specifically.
Yeah.
I would say that just increases your likelihood of having a haunting there. It has to.
Well, that's what I said.
Right. But you know what? I wasn't supporting it at first, but now I am. I convinced myself that you're right.
Right.
Which is not easy to do. I'm terrified. Also, I'm now also terrified of the fact of the 6 million remains within the catacombs. It's also I've also changed my mind on that. It's a lot of body bones.
Yeah.
If the average person has a number of bones that I can't remember, that's a lot of bones.
Yeah, how many fingers and toes that is?
120
6 million times 10 each.
I think I did the math wrong. 60 million.
Nope,
that's more than that because your finger
600 million, wouldn't
there's
it?
more than one bone in each finger, so I was wrong about that entirely.
Well, I just said how many fingers. I didn't say how many finger bones.
Right. Why would you want to? Yeah. What a silly thing to ask.
Yeah.
So, do you have any more scary facts about bones?
Yeah, I have so many more scary facts, Sean. All right. Clench your butthole.
I can't unclench it. I have a thing.
Get off of it.
I'm trying to keep it in. So, next fact.
Okay. With all the explosions, movement, combustion, and mayhem I added a word.
Which one?
With all the explosions, movement, combustion, and mayhem, the universe is still completely silent. That's because there's no air for the sound to travel through vibrations and as it does on Earth. That was the second part of that one. So it's like, don't actually be scared. Here's the explanation. Like,
here is my
fucking
issue.
Scary mommy.
Here's my issue. Feed your kids. here's my issue with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
That is saying that anything that happens within an atmosphere with air that can vibrate and allow sound to travel is not part of the universe.
Yeah.
Everything that happens on Earth is part of the
space.
universe. Right. But it doesn't. It claims that the universe is completely silent, even though I just heard you tell me that the universe is completely silent.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that wish right now, as they're choosing to listen to this, that it was silent.
You know what? Flat Earthers,
Mm-hmm.
they believe that there's no sound. They believe that the Earth is silent.
So why do they keep trying to tell us that?
And they're probably not figuring out why we can't hear them say it.
Yeah.
And we
they
won't
believe it's all falling on deaf ears.
Yeah. At a rate of 32 feet per second squared.
Upward.
To create the illusion of gravity sound.
Yeah.
Sound gravity?
Next scary fact.
All right. Yes.
All right. Be prepared. An astronaut's footprint on the moon can remain there for 1,000,000 years.
They know that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, how do you know that it can do that? It hasn't been 1,000,000 years since an astronaut's footprint has been on the moon.
Yeah, I don't.
It's barely been 50.
What was it? 69, right?
Yeah.
Was the year that the first footprint was on the moon?
Yeah, as far as we know.
Right. Well, and this was all faked anyway. So,
well, I mean, there could have been somebody could have went to the moon and just not told anybody around ahead of time.
And not what?
Somebody could have went to the moon and didn't let us know about it.
Oh, sure.
We just only know about as far as we know, in 1969 was the first time anybody stepped foot on it. Somebody could have done it beforehand and just not mentioned it. They just, they didn't do it for the glory. They just,
they kept it to themselves. You're saying,
Yeah.
So
just like a family holiday,
a little getaway.
Yeah,
yeah,
just to the moon and back.
A spacecation.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know about that. So, because around the time that America was really working toward getting some people to set foot on the moon,
yeah,
I
kicking
imagine
ass in the space race,
kicking some major
moon ass,
rusky ass.
Yeah,
get them. 80s movie
wow,
villains.
when was the last time anybody called a Russian a Rusky?
I don't know. It took me a second
Probably
to remember, which I've never seen. So in my mind, I made that term up.
Hey, episode 101.
I watched
Sean watched Red Dawn.
I did not watch Red Dawn.
Everybody's unsubscribing.
I will specifically. I will never listen to a podcast that talks about that movie. It gives me night terrors. But the time that we were really pushing and kicking some major space race ass, I think we would probably have a pretty constant monitor of activity on the moon. I don't know if someone could really slip under the radar and just.
But we can only see one half of it.
You think someone hung out on the dark side of the moon? It gets very cold, I'm told.
Every time I listen to Pink Floyd, man, I'm hanging out on the dark side of the moon, if you know what I mean.
If I was ever going to ask you to edit something out of this podcast, it would be you saying that. Because, I tend to not speak very highly of this show. And I would say that is the worst thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
Are you sure?
By in the area of attempts at humor, yes. I am confident in saying that is the worst, least funny, most predictable thing that's ever been said.
I don't think it was that predictable. But also, this episode ain't over yet, so
Yes, there's time to
there's
go
time
lower.
For me to one up that, baby.
Right. Oh God. Anyway, so you think someone's hanging out, not listening to records of a 60s
you wouldn't be able
rock
to,
group, right? Because the universe is completely silent.
Yeah.
You don't think you could bring up a Discman up there and hit play?
I mean, if you're listening to it within your helmet, that's fine because there's air in your helmet.
Yeah.
But if you if you just put like a boombox on your shoulder,
no one said that's happening. There weren't even boomboxes in the 60s. I don't think.
I don't believe there was a Walkman either.
Yeah, I know.
So
it was the technology was given to us by the aliens way back when the pyramids were built
on the dark side of the moon. The aliens that live on the dark side of the moon.
No, of course not.
Oh.
No one lives there.
We don't know that.
I think we know.
There could be a whole race of creatures on that side of the moon.
You don't think that when, presuming this actually happened, you don't think that when we landed on the moon, some kind of radar went off, like it triggered their spider web and they zipped out of here? Like, what the hell's going on? Who's on our moon? Who's on the light side of the moon?
No, because they can't go to the light side of the moon. It's too bright.
They're vampires. They are vampires on the dark side of the moon. Vampire aliens live on the dark side of the moon.
It's crazy.
They need a green card to get into this country, or a work visa.
Okay.
Aliens.
You can actually fit all the planets in the solar system. Sorry, not you, Pluto. In the space between the Earth and the moon. Think about that one.
What? No way.
How scared are you?
There's no way that's true.
It's apparently true.
No. They're saying
it's apparently true.
Hold on, stop. You mean it's apparently stated?
It's apparently Scary Mommy said.
Don't gesture toward your screen.
Scary Mommy told me.
All right.
She said it, so it's true.
They're saying that every planet in our solar system can
except
fit,
Pluto.
Okay, whatever.
Can fit in the space between the Earth and the moon.
There's no way.
We'll look it up.
No way.
Dude, I doubt it would be on this website if it wasn't true.
Yeah, because moms don't ever lie to their kids.
Wait a second.
The tooth fairy brings them money when they lose a tooth and put it under their pillow at night. Matt, are you duck-a-go-going?
I don't know what that is.
It's a search engine in, I think, China.
Oh, then no.
Are you binging?
Nobody's ever binging, Sean.
They will.
No.
Well, because they're not, you know what? No, they haven't been privied to the awesome term that is binging.
Nope.
It makes me want to bing right now. How many times a day do you bing? Do you bing yourself?
I've never once binged myself. Gonna be
honest. Yeah,
honest.
right.
I have people for that.
Because I go, I don't. You have bingers.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find at least one more just super scary fact to really close this thing out with. Just to, like I literally want to see you go whiter than you are.
I'm quite pale, but I would argue that you're probably more pale than I am.
Not in this lighting.
No, but we're talking about.
I look like I have a healthy tan.
Real world situations. That's the reflection of your beard, like bouncing up onto your face. It's misleading. Like
could be.
Let me see. Lean to your right. More. Nah, it doesn't work. You get blocked by your pop filter.
Oh, you wanted me to go over here?
Yeah, gotcha. There he is. There's Casper. You think teeth envy your skin?
Because my skin is whiter than a lot of people's teeth. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, like the teeth want to be as white as your skin. That's what I'm getting at. That is at what I am getting. At what are you getting, sir? I want to say it like that. I don't want to say, what are you getting at? I want to say, at what are you getting?
I mean, go for it.
I will. But I don't often find myself saying, what are you getting at? Anyway, so I guess I'll have to come up with excuses to say that, but my modified version of it. So if you say, what are you getting at? Is that ending a sentence with a preposition, which you're technically not supposed to do? Like, instead of saying, what are you referring to, you're supposed to say, to what are you referring?
I guess it's not proper grammar.
So it might be proper grammar to say, at what are you getting?
I mean, it's probably technically more of a proper structured statement, but it sounds dumb as shit.
That's scary. Got any more scary? It's weird that we're sort of doing these scary facts, a few weeks before Halloween, and we're not doing any of this around Halloween.
It's probably, we're just trying to, get people into that spirit. Let's get them scared a little. They're going to expect it around Halloween.
Yeah. We don't want to be predictable.
If you get them a month early, then,
we want to butter their brownstone.
Yeah. I've scrolled way down and
nothing?
No, hold on. So I read the Paris Catacombs one. I got to scroll back up for a second. I got to see what number that was. That was number 22, right? So I'm saying right, like you.
Sure. I have no point of
number
reference.
60. The catacombs of Paris hold the remains of more than 6 million people. Its walls are also made of bones.
Wait a minute.
They put it in again. It's in there twice.
And here I was thinking to myself, why is he reading the full fact out again? Just to say that was number 20.
And I added this one. Okay, so this one added its walls are also made of bones part.
So, which we kind of discovered on our own. We added that ourselves.
didn't look it up.
Because we are scary. We have the ability to scare.
This one's in here twice as well. It's not one I mentioned earlier, but I just saw it up further, and now it's down here again. I am so disappointed in you, scary mommy.
You know what I'm finding to dislike more and more since we've been doing this show?
The internet?
The internet.
The internet sucks.
The internet has such potential to produce some of the best in any genre. The best comedy, the best drama, the best horror, scary type of stuff imaginable. Because everyone has access to the internet. Well, not everyone, but
anybody worth talking about.
Anybody, that deserves it has access to the internet. So
to be honest,
they have access to submit their own whatever they want to the internet for anyone to peruse and consume. The fact that this is meant to be a list full of scary facts.
It's just it's a list full of facts that aren't even, like, to be honest, not even interesting.
You couldn't even label it as
barely facts.
You couldn't even label it as shocking or disturbing. There's a lot of things you couldn't use to describe this list. Yeah, I would just say a list of moderately or mildly interesting facts. Or you could just call it a list of things you might not already know.
Yeah, like in 2007, a woman died after drinking more than a gallon of water in 3 hours.
Oh my God!
She did it to win a Wii.
I bet her body went wee after she passed.
Your body does that.
Yeah, you lose your faculties.
Mm-hmm. I remember
what are you Josh getting. Say?
I remember Josh getting very sick when you guys worked at the Juice Fac.
You abbreviated factory. Okay, cool.
You guys always did that.
Let's let them know. Let's just.
That's how you guys referred to it. You guys referred to it as the Juice Fac.
I don't ever remember calling it the Juice Fac. But if you're going to do that, why limit yourself to just the word factory? No, so this person we know named Josh.
Yeah.
He's the one who mastered our theme song. He attempted to drink a full gallon of water in a very short amount of time one day while we were working at.
I think it was just he tried to drink it through the shift. He just wanted to drink it during the shift, I thought.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't think that would be unreasonable because the shifts were 10 hours. He was trying to get it done like quickly.
Yeah,
and
it's not a
good idea because he ended up having to go into the bathroom and he found himself getting sick. And of course, what came out was cold water. It hadn't even warmed up yet. But because he drank most of it, didn't he? I think he got. I don't remember how much was left.
you can. Such a thing as,
you can die.
I believe, water poisoning is literally what it's called.
I mean, you can. This woman died from drinking too much water.
Yeah, a gallon in 3 hours. 1 gallon in 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been around that same rate.
Yeah, it's not safe. I think, what is it? 32 ounces a day is what's recommended, right?
Wait, I've only heard 8 glasses, but whatever. I don't know how much is in a glass in that math.
I think a glass is 8 ounces, isn't it?
So that would be 64 ounces if it was 8
so that's
glasses
half a gallon,
day?
Right?
I don't know.
I think 64 ounces is a half gallon.
I don't know.
But that's a day. That's that's not
3 hours.
It's not like in the 3 hour span. It's throughout the entire day. So for a full 24-hour period, 32 to 64 ounces.
I wish it was only 24 hours.
You wish a day was only 24 hours?
A period.
You wish a period was only 24 hours?
Yeah. Wouldn't life for everyone be so much better? I'm talking about a menstrual cycle.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But are you saying yours or just...
No,
if a woman's period was only 24 hours?
Yeah. Would that be great?
But they got it 7 times a month.
Every day for a week.
Yeah. Then they're just like, I wish this would all just condense down into one chunk. I could just knock it out and then I could have 3 weeks off.
Right.
Maybe that's how it started.
What? And there was a period of negotiation where they worked out a new deal.
Gross.
Oh, I see. There was a time of negotiation.
They went to the leader of periods and they had a period of
Yeah. They wore red.
Called the period of negotiation.
So I would think that whoever came up with this contest to win a Wii,
a
Nintendo Wii,
I wonder if that was the joke. Like, they're like, oh, because they're going to have to pee really bad after that whole gallon of water.
You know what?
Is that where you're going with it?
No, but...
Oh.
So what I was going to say was they should probably have looked into the possibility of there being some sort of medical, thing that could result in this if there is some sort of health concern with drinking water too fast. But if it's the type of people that base an entire contest around the fact that the name of the product is a wee, and you will likely have to go to the bathroom as a result, they are not going to be those types of people that will look up whether or not there is something medically dangerous with doing so. So I would wager that your suggestion is more likely as to what happened. Some genius thought, this is such a hilarious idea.
Yeah.
We're going to have the prize be a wee for a water drinking contest. And they didn't bother to look up if there's any possibility of death.
Yeah, I think that's something you should always look up if you're going to have people doing any sort of competition that involves them ingesting things or like performing things or something.
I can't imagine, like, I still can't like watch those hot dog eating contests. Like, how in the world I mean, usually aren't they not even like chewing them half the time? They found a way to just sort of swallow them and then just drink water in between or something. Or are they always eating them with buns? I think they're always eating them with buns, right?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to chew them because I don't think you could. I think it would fill up your stomach a lot faster if there was just a bunch of full hot dogs going down your gullet. Probably right.
So, I mean, they just eat so many hot dogs. It's gotta be you have to feel terrible.
They train for it though. They train to do that.
Yeah. So this is like, they do it all year round.
Yeah. And like the people who tend to win though, cause it's always like 18 giant fat dudes and then like one little tiny Japanese woman. Right. And she destroys them all the time. And it's like, these tiny little people, cause they I don't know exactly what they do to train themselves, but they do like stomach muscle exercises and things to stretch their stomach. They're constantly working on like I think, and they kind of like can move their body around because I think they can like adjust they can literally move around what's in their stomach to stack it better and shit like that. It's the same kind of thing.
They're
with
they're like doing Tetris. They're doing stomach Tetris.
Have you ever seen the magicians that will like swallow items and then you're like, oh, get the whistle back, and then they'll like move around and then they'll
specifically bring back
specifically the one item back up that you ask for.
Yeah,
it's because they can train themselves to like feel around and move stuff around in their body and then hack it back up. So I think a lot of the competitive eaters,
they do that. They have
that
to.
Shit.
I would
they
imagine
have to train and stuff. Yeah, and then the big fat dudes are just like, I'm a big fat dude. I can eat a lot, and he doesn't do any training other than just being a big fat dude who eats a lot. No offense.
None taken. The people that do that, not the hot dog eating people, but the people that decide I'm going to train my body to be able to swallow a variety of items and then regurgitate a specific item on command. Wouldn't you do a little bit of research on like the average earning potential for a magician and weigh that compared to the amount of crap you're gonna have to swallow and potentially not get back? You
get it back one way or another.
You get it back one way or another, but like naturally you would have to swallow something that will just fit down your esophagus, otherwise you wouldn't be able to swallow it. So there wouldn't be much worry about it passing through, and then you're having some
dude mess. I've seen people swallow pool balls,
like billiard balls.
Yeah.
Ew, that's crazy. I would not want that to go all the way through.
I don't even know if I could fit one in my mouth.
I don't. My mouth is really small. Yeah, I probably couldn't get one past my teeth.
Right.
I would think if you swallowed a billiard ball, stripes or solids, and you couldn't get it back out. I would think you would have to have that surgically removed. Would you be able to pass that through?
I don't think, no. That would get stuck in your, I don't think that would even get out of your stomach to even get into your intestine. I think it would.
You might just live there.
Yeah. And then you would die of septicemia or whatever the fuck.
The worst form of training that I ever did for that, when I was training to be a magician that swallowed various items to be regurgitated on command, I swallowed a whole bunch of kidney stones. That was a mistake.
I don't think that's how kidney stones work.
I acquired kidney stones from donors and swallowed them.
I don't know if
some of them were
solids
some were
make
paracut.
It to your kidneys. I think only liquid makes it to your kidneys.
Well, then,
like stones can come from your kidneys, but I don't think anything solid gets to your kidneys for processing.
Look, don't take this apart. It was supposed to be something somewhat funny.
You know,
a funny concept. You're like, scientifically, that wouldn't work. I'm fandom. I'm internet fandom. This doesn't check out. You've ruined my childhood.
Out of everything that's ever happened on 99 episodes of this show, that is probably the least funny joke anybody has ever told.
And guess what? When I'm on the dark side of the moon, I can't hear it over the Pink Floyd album I'm playing.
Wow. That was just, where'd that come from? Nobody said anything about that earlier. There wasn't a weird chunk of audio missing from this podcast.
You don't you don't edit anything, you lazy sack.
I haven't.
Oh, but now you might. No, you've done
it's time to start a new precedent here on
century number 2, second century
start
podcasting.
Making Sean look awful. On the edit.
We're gonna, it's your second century podcasting.
I've edited out very few things on this.
I remember one specific one which we won't talk about, but I also remember you putting some kind of creepy effect on your voice. I think maybe during one of the scary.
And then I think one time, because Mikey specifically asked us to refer to him as Mikey or Snooze Magoo, and one time his last name was mentioned, and I edited that out out of respect, which he doesn't deserve.
Facts.
But I did it for my own moral compass,
your own conscience,
not to protect him.
Yeah. That way you can know for yourself that you did the right thing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit if he likes it or not.
See you next century. Episode 100 coming soon.
Later, bitches. I don't know. Fuck it. That was stupid.
Okay, well, maybe that was the least funny thing.
Let's start over with not the whole thing, just the end, just the outro.
Hello and welcome to
No. Oh God, that was close.
Hello and welcome to the end of podcast.
See you next Tuesday, everyone.
Go to Prowsen. Cut it now. Cut it now. You're just, why are you still recording?
Well,
cut it now.
Something new.
What do you mean something new? What does that mean?
All right. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Here's to another 100.
Should we say that at the end of episode 100, you idiot?
Yeah, we should. I'll cut it. Should I cut that?
No.
All right, let's start the ending again.
Okay, ready?
See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HSFamousPod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.